I will start by quoting the late management guru, Peter Drucker, who famously said that if you cannot measure it, you cannot manage it. And it's the same thing with crowdsourcing. If you don't know what you're looking for, if you don't have clear objectives, clear KPIs, if you don't know what to measure and how to measure it, you have no idea whether you are doing it right, and you don't know whether it's a success or not. So my topic is really about the ROI of crowdsourcing. At eYeka, we tap into the collective creative power of a crowd, mostly to solve marketing, communication, or new product challenges. What we bring to our clients is a very fresh perspective, is to get them to realize that their consumers can be not only a source of insights, so people that you engage with for market research at the beginning, or to validate that what you have created, but we engage people and consumers as a source of ideas. And we don't believe that everyone is equally creative. People who are capable of very disruptive innovation, breakthrough thinking, there aren't that many. So we tend to attract on our platform the 1% of creators, people with above average creative thinking, lateral thinking abilities. And we have over close to 300,000 of them in 160 countries. So the way it works, very quickly, we work with brands, tackle their marketing challenges. We turn that into creative competitions that we advertise on our platform. Members of our community participate, submit ideas, video, pieces of content, presentations, and then we analyze that, we curate them, and go back to our clients with a short list of videos or content to play with, or we give them a recommendation based on the ideas developed by our crowd, by our community. So, in a nutshell, our community can deliver two things. The first one is ideas. Second is content. The difference is that when we are looking for ideas, we don't really care about the quality of creative execution. The only thing that matters is what's the concept, what's the idea behind it. When we want content, we want something that could possibly be aired on television, online, on social media, or so on. So it has to look good. And when it comes to ROI, therefore, we look at two things. The first one is a return on marketing investment for ideation, or a return on media investment for content, because that's going to be amplified. So if we start with ideation, broadly, three things you could look for. And I'm going to show you one example for each of them. And I will do the same for content. The first one is crowdsourcing is extremely efficient when it comes to traditional ideation or innovation methods. Why? Because it's fast. You put a brief and you get a crowd of people to work in parallel. So basically you can involve consumers from all over the world in a matter of weeks in a project that will take months at best if you were to work with a traditional market research agency. It's also very affordable because it's a fixed cost. So we advertise our brief, our projects as a fixed fee, fixed price for our competition, and then you can get hundreds, thousands of ideas. So efficiency. Second, it's relevance. Relevance meaning that the ideas that come from the crowd, because we involve very fresh 1% of creative thinkers, and most of them are not creative professionals, so they don't work in agencies or in creative professions. They tend to approach problems with a very fresh perspective. So they give us very original left-field ideas. And these resonate very well when tested with consumers. So typically, our clients will take some of our ideas and test that with stuff that comes from other partners. And we found that ours tend to resonate and test higher. They score better, which means better products, better campaigns. And finally, it's effectiveness, which means that these ideas are then turned into products or campaigns, but also deliver when on the market. So I'm going to give you three quick examples. First, we start with efficiency. That's SFR, is a French telecom company. It's a bit like Singtel. Same thing, state-owned, became a bit more privatized. And they were very interested to explore the edutainment space. So a place for kids where they can learn while having fun, but they didn't know what to do. So we did a suite of projects, succession of projects with them where we challenge our community to describe the ideal edutainment experience or to create the ideal edutainment product. And we took all the learnings from this community to come back to our clients with a recommendation. And our client, what she did is at the same time that she briefed our community, she briefed a top design school in France and a top innovation agency. So she briefed the crowdsourcing community, eYeka, the design school, and the innovation agency at the same time. And she got the same, basically, level, high standard quality of ideas in general from the three players. The difference is that we did it in 3 weeks, the agency did it in 3 months, and the school in 6 months. So it's much, much, much faster. And the ideas that came from our community scored much higher on many dimensions. And they were adopted for SFR to launch the first edutainment TV channel in the French market. So all of the content, the programs, the interface, the way kids are involved and engaged, the activities, most of it comes from insights that our community actually gave us. And this is actually extremely popular. I think they got something like 30,000, 50,000 subscribers, in 2 months. They have a lot of stories, which was a good insight from our community. And I think they had, in 2 months, close to 1 million stories, which have been actually viewed and read on this platform. Second example is relevance. That's a project that we did not long ago for Hyundai. Hyundai has a communication platform, which is Live Brilliant. And they were a little bit stuck with their agency on how to express that, how to communicate that to consumers visually. How do we express Live Brilliant potentially in an advertising campaign? What do we show? So we put that challenge to our community. We explained to them that a car is more than a car, it's more than a transportation mode, but it's a place where you can have brilliant experiences, moments that you may want to share with others. But what could these moments be? So tell us the story. We got over 200 entries, 233 entries in 5 weeks for a number of countries, so very global project. And the winning idea came from Italy, and this member of our community, this creator, thought that a car is a place where you can be inspired. So this is a very interesting visual because it's quite novel in 2 ways. The first one is that in traditional advertising for cars, you see the car from the outside. You're actually seeing the car. Here, you're actually inside the car and you're looking out. So that's the first innovation. The second is actually a beautiful concept that while in a car, you can be inspired by looking at the world that you're going through, the world around you. And so you look at the concept, and this is how the client adapt that into a global campaign. So same concept, different creative execution. So that basically ran globally in The Economist, a number of global publications, and the campaign, I think, ended a month and a half ago. That's another creative treatment here, you see? Same thing, from the car, I'm inspired. And there's something quite unique here. There's a little line that you can't read because it's quite blurred, but it says this ad was co-created by consumers, with ideas from a competition on the eYeka community. So it says something like that. It's actually the first time that the brand explicitly acknowledged that some of the ideas that it got didn't necessarily come from the agency, but were inspired by its consumers. So it's quite a nice breakthrough. Lastly, on the ideation side, we can talk about effectiveness. So here, I'm going to show you a video, which is for P&G Oral-B, the toothbrush and toothpaste brand.
We are going to launch the world's first Bluetooth-connected rechargeable brush from start to finish in 18 months. We knew consumers were interested in improving their oral health and gaining more control of their oral health on a day-to-day basis. We had no resources, we had no money, and we had no best approach. We knew time was critical, and the first mover advantage in this space would be the person who could launch the first product. So the community helped us to anticipate many of the issues and questions that we then faced, and helped us work through already some of the problems that we came up with. The quality and number of responses from the eYeka community was extremely high. We were very pleased internally. They gave us a huge head start, and it really helped us to gain a lot of time and anticipate some of the problems that we then, in the development of the product, in particular, the importance of content, the importance of gamification, the importance of the family interactivity, socialization. These were all elements that we hadn't thought about, we hadn't anticipated. The community helped us to work those through. The highlights of the submissions were the quality of the thinking, and I think that would never have been possible without working with eYeka and the community. We have launched the world's first Bluetooth-connected rechargeable brush. We're shipping already in many different markets, and the response from retailers, from the profession, and from consumers has been exceptionally good.
So basically, all the pictures that you've seen, that's what our community produced. They are the 1% of creators, so most of the time they have creative talents. They can draw, they can visualize, they can express and articulate their concepts pretty well. And so this product is on the market. I think it's going to be launched in Singapore around June. It's available in other markets at the moment. So the world's first connected toothbrush, mostly based on the insights of a crowdsourcing community. Right, so we talk about ideation. When it comes to content, which is the second bucket of things that we crowdsource for our community, we basically come across the same three things: efficient, fast, affordable, fixed cost. Therefore, if you are running a campaign when you have content, it's maximize basically your cost, basically. It minimizes your cost, therefore increase basically the value of the campaign and the ROI. Relevance is the performance in the campaign, mostly on both media, so the media that you paid for. So the content produced by the community, because it's very fresh, it's crowdsourced, it's different from traditionally produced content that usually look like an ad. Here it's mostly authentic, it's fresh, it's a bit irreverent, more storytelling, so it tends to perform very well in a campaign. And in addition to that, the effectiveness when it comes to content online is about how social it is. Will people actually share it with others? And that's the earned media that you get on top of the media that you pay for, which obviously can explode in a good way the metrics and the ROI of your campaign. So 3 quick examples. We start with the efficiency. That's another video.
So we were having a major problem cracking a new positioning around Coke in the area of energizing refreshment. It actually was going for almost a year working with agencies and not getting it. So eYeka provided us a global platform to send that positioning out there and get the creative community to interpret it and feed it back to us.
With that, eYeka's strategy and project team transformed it into a brief and launched it on eYeka's platforms in various languages, with the help of our community of managers, where tens of thousands of members get to participate. In 12 weeks, we received 2,547 entries of designs, illustrations, photos, videos, and animation. The top entries of each category were shortlisted and judged by an international jury comprising of executive creative agency directors and chief marketing officers from some of the world's best brands. At the end of the session, the judges were so impressed that 2 entries from the video animation category shall be submitted for Cannes Lions International Advertising Festival 2012.
So we had a massive response of creative content from across the globe, which was very exciting, but I think we were all skeptical on the quality, which kind of leads to the second big surprise, was the quality surpassed our expectations, but it's had a ripple effect within our organization in the way we do things, the way we look at accessing creative and fresh ideas.
So basically, the brief, very simple. Coke is about energizing refreshment. We've been saying that for decades. How do we find new ways to say that again. What's the inspiration for our agencies and our local markets to communicate around energizing refreshment in a more creative way? So they're looking for pictures, videos, illustrations, anything that could be used, inspire a campaign, or could be used as it is in local markets. The results were actually pretty good. Some of the videos tested in the top 10% of all-time best ads for Coke in some markets, crowdsource. Some videos were shortlisted for Cannes Lion 2012. They didn't win, unfortunately. We were there, but they didn't get the prize. But still, it's a nice token on the creativity of a community. They basically play with the best. And Coke has a TV channel called Coke TV, where they push a lot of content. It's originated in Mexico. It's now going into China. So a lot of the content produced by our community find its way into that channel. So we create content for Coke.tv. And contest generated a lot of mentions. But if you look at the efficiency, most of the time when, if you are a marketer, if you work globally or regionally, and then you have an initiative, you really have to convince the local markets very hard to use what you produce. Because you have this tension between global, central versus local. Here, they got 100% adoption of creative materials against 47% on average. So all the markets use the materials. Not all the materials, but each market used at least one piece of content, which is quite exceptional. And they had cost-saving efficiencies of 92%, because again, a fixed cost, fixed prices, and they had huge response, huge volume of content. So if they had to actually film or produce all these visuals themselves, traditionally, it would have costed them a fortune. That's the efficiency. We look at relevance. So does the campaign actually deliver? Does it perform? That's a project we did last year, end of last year, a campaign in Japan for Energizer, for the Chic Quattro razor brand. And they wanted to engage young men online, Quattro or non-Quattro users. And Chic Quattro has a very strong equity, a brand equity, which is around titanium. So in razor, they communicate a lot on the fact that the blades are coated with titanium, which means that the razors stay sharper for longer, which means you don't have to replace the blade so often. So again, we transformed that into a brief to our community in a number of languages. And here, we didn't want ads. We wanted story. We wanted content. So we asked our community to create content around titanium. And we found a creative angle, which was, what if a daily object that you use could be replaced by a stronger, more durable titanium version? How would it change your life? We got a lot of content. And basically, the video ends with an end shot or end video provided by Chic. So you go into the story around titanium, and then you go into the razor, which is about titanium. We got 112 entries. I don't have time to show them to you. Show you just maybe one print. That's an example that we got from Argentina. So this is really interesting. It's like an embodiment of what the brand is about. So it's a bit cheeky. The guy has a titanium jaw. You don't know whether the woman is actually feeling it or slapping him because he got traces of lipstick on his neck. So, but it works perfectly with the target audience. Let's have a campaign work, very simple. The crowdsourced video, a selection of crowdsourced videos were amplified on Google TrueView, the pre-roll ads that you see on YouTube. And you click, and then you go to a microsite where you can fill in your details. It leads you to Amazon, where you get a free razor, and then you have the option to purchase blades as well. So it was a very, very successful campaign. Tiny budget, few weeks only in Japan, 250,000 views. View-through rate, which is very high, which is the number of people who view the video and then go to the site. 21%. 3.5% sample application, which is also huge if you guys are a bit familiar with direct marketing or sampling. It's a really, really high number. And the cost to conversion is 54% lower. The cost to acquire a new customer. Why? Because it's crowdsourced, so it's cheaper. And then last example, before I run out of time, you can see the little timer there. I didn't miss it. Is about effectiveness. And this is a campaign which was done by KLM, what they want to communicate is that they have a suite of mobile applications where you can research, you can plan, you can book, you can manage all your trips. You can do that entirely from your mobile phone. So they wanted to talk to a young audience in Asia just to let them know about it. So here we're looking for videos that can go viral. And we put a brief to our community, and we thought that this app was so good that even the most people who are so addicted to their mobile phone will love it. So we challenge our community and say, picture these guys who spend their entire life on their mobile phone. What could happen if they just try to do too much on their phone? What are the disastrous, hilarious consequences that could happen if someone is so addicted to his mobile phone that he's trying to do too much? And then, so we have content, we have stories, and then, again, that segue to an ad provided by the client that talks about the app. So I'm just going to show you one of the videos. So we got 23 videos in 4 weeks. Here, we're not looking for quantity. We just want very good, high production type of video, and we're going to amplify 3. No more than that. So it's quality over quantity. Obviously, we replaced this end frame with a better quality one produced by the client, so you just saw the unedited version as the creator sent it to us. Again, in terms of effectiveness, very good, very social campaign, over 1.2 million views, good engagement. The over-delivery is all the share. So 42% of these views were not paid for if people will share it and other people view, which is really nice. What's a very nice figure is the retention rate. It's the number of people who watch the video until the end. And usually you watch the video, you drop off, but it's pretty high. It means that the content really resonated with the audience. They were engaged. They wanted to see what happened next. So that works very well. So here you go. Just on time, we've got 26 seconds to spare. These are the ROI of crowdsourcing. Whether it's ideation, whether it's content, it is efficient, it's fast, it's affordable, it's relevant, it delivers ideas or content that really resonate with the target market, and it's effective as well. So it delivers products that sell or campaigns that perform and are shared. Thank you.